Hello everyone, welcome to another Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin walkthrough video. Last time we went through Harvest Valley and killed the Covetous Demon, and I was talking about getting a new weapon, and that's it. This here is the Sun Sword, and it's a Covenant item that you get from the Heirs of the Sun Covenant at rank 2. So what you basically have to do is get 20 sunlight medals. I'll show off what this sword really can do. It's not that great right now because it's only at +6 and the mace was at +7. So technically the mace is better, but it swings faster and I'm starting to like it. At +10, this thing's a beast. And with really high dexterity and strength, you do a ton of damage with it. So it's a good weapon to have this far. 139 plus 112 with that, and the mace was 192 plus 85. So definitely the mace does more damage at this point, but the Sun Sword swings faster and consumes less stamina. So I'm going to be using that, I think, from now on. As I was saying, you need 20 sunlight medals, and sunlight medals are a Covenant item you get for helping people defeat bosses in the Heirs to the Sun Covenant. So they're like the Token of Fidelity and Token of Spite next to it. Well, basically the Token of Fidelity. If you were in any other Covenant and you helped somebody out with a boss fight, you get a Token of Fidelity. If you're in Heirs to the Sun, you get a Sunlight Medal. So, you need 20 Sunlight Medals, you get 1 for helping somebody defeat a boss. So, basically 20 boss fights. You can get this shield at 10. It's not that great, but has really high resistances to, like, poison and bleed. You get the sword at +2, so that's the 20 medals, and you get the Miracle Sunlight Spear at +3, or at rank 3, which is 30 sunlight medals. And so I just spent my time doing that. Spent some off-camera time just farming for that. I wore the Agape ring that you can buy from Strayed so that I'm not like 40 levels tougher from using all the souls in those boss battles or anything. So I'm basically just where we were last time. It's a good weapon, and if you feel like, you know, farming for it and taking the time, it's a good weapon for you. I'm blocking here, and it's not giving me the block. That's really weird. I'm probably gonna die. I'm not getting the block. That's really dumb. Well, anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to be using this probably for the rest of the game. There are other weapons I could use too, of course, but I think I'm just going to show off what this sword can do, because it's a very special sword. Yeah, I should probably kill this guy. I can't get the backstab on this guy right now. Nope. Backstab timing is a little different in this game as compared to Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3 for that matter. Every game kind of has its own timing. I'm still not quite used to the timing in this one. And I just rested when I probably shouldn't have, because it's going to reset everyone, but that's okay. That guy's up there. Should probably kill him. Actually, should probably get rid of this guy that jumped down. It's got a nice stab for the power attack. One-handed power attack. Very nice for narrow passages and it's got a nice horizontal swing for your main attack. It's just got a good moveset and can be very powerful. It's kind of funny, I have a friend who kind of made this same character. More or less some heavy armor, started with the mace, and worked his way up to the Sun Sword. The Sun Sword is, yeah, really good. I think he had 40 or 50 both strength and dexterity at one point, and he was doing like 1100 with backstab. So, pretty cool weapon. But yeah, I'm almost kind of mimicking what he did. Kind of unsure whether or not blocking is actually going to help, because for whatever reason, those throwing knives didn't help at all when I was trying to block. So what am I doing? I already ran up here. Oh right, yeah. Gotta go back down here. What you want to do is you want to light your torch. You want to run out here to the windmill. You can light it on fire, and doing that will actually cause the whole thing to stop. And this is actually what's pumping all the poison throughout the entire area. So anywhere there was a stagnant green poison pool is now going to be gone because of that. It's no longer pumping. Some areas, if you use a Pharaoh's Lockstone, it would spit out poison from this, like, as a poison fountain. Those are now clear and clean healing waters instead. And we can see that the whole tower is actually shutting down now. So you really want to get that taken care of, because it makes your run through here a lot easier. I mean, maybe not super easy. There aren't that many spots where it would be in your way, but it saves the hassle of trying to have to heal yourself from poison all the time. And usually there are more guys up here on these little wooden platforms, but nobody's jumped up so far, so I don't know what happened. I thought I heard them jump. Yeah, I just heard that one jump. Whatever. Mannequin claws. Those are good. If you're trying to do a bleed build, those are actually pretty good. The mannequin knife is good. I got the mannequin top from this guy. Basically, the mannequins, if you're going to be a thief build, that's a very good light armor set and good weapon set, too. I'm going to try and break these without getting covered in poison. That probably won't happen. Nope. Got hit a little bit. Nope. Probably gonna get covered in poison again. Watch out for that. Let's see if I can, bait an attack or something and not get hit. Maybe one of those upward attacks like that. Lock that one. Spell Quartz Ring +1. It's for your magic defense. So if something's using sorcery on you, that's a pretty good ring to have. There are +2 versions, and I think even +3 versions in the DLCs. If I'm remembering that correctly, which I think I am. Yeah, that one I'm just gonna kill with throwing knives. So, before you shut down the windmill, this thing will be moving. And I think it actually damages you. So it's kind of good that we took care of that. Throwing knives are just very useful. Nice little tools to have around breaking jars, killing enemies from kind of a good distance away. And they do pretty high damage. So I like to carry throwing knives. I'm running kind of low right now, but they're nice to have. Now there is a way to kind of completely avoid having to go this way, getting attacked by 3 enemies at once. That time I blocked the throwing knife, so I don't know what was up earlier. There is kind of a better way to go about this. If you go... Yeah, I'll go down this way. So when you first get that bonfire, this gate will actually be open. If you're quick enough, you can run through here and kill this guy before he closes it. If he closes it, you gotta run around like we did. And I thought it would be better to just show that rather than run up here. Do it that way. Because if you don't get it, then you're gonna be like, well, what do I do?
Shush. You idiot. I'm on the run. Don't give me away. You're a fugitive too, eh? Yeah? Why else would you be here? It's got death written all over it. You want to climb down? I can let... But, why, yep. Have you no gratitude? I let you. Alright.
This guy is Laddersmith Gilligan. And, little fun fact, in Dark Souls 3... the body that gives you the stretch out gesture, I can't speak, actually looks like Gilligan. Pretty much is Gilligan.
I won't offer this steel twice.
This guy's cool. And you can spend the 2,000 souls and go down the ladder. He also sells the black leather stuff, which looks different for female characters. It's the thief armor. From like the first game. He sells, you know, whips and claws and bleeding stuff, and this ladder miniature you're gonna want to get later. If you have the souls, you might want to buy it now because it's cheapest now. If you don't buy it now, it goes up like 1,500 souls. You're gonna want it unless you feel like killing him later, because there's a quest line where you can either kill people or you can wait out until they give you item, so you don't have to kill them. Yeah, so you might want to buy that, or I guess you could kill him if you want later. I wouldn't kill him now. He'll go back to Majula, and he'll become a shopkeeper, and he'll actually build more ladders to go down that pit. You can also use the cat ring here and grab the items, but then there's no way back up. And you can use the cat ring in Majula, but you take a lot of damage when you fall. So, you want to activate this elevator here. It moves very slowly. But under it, sitting in this little compartment, there are a couple items. Nothing too special, but I know that they're there, so I'm gonna grab those. And then, you want to wait for it to come back down again. Pull the lever again. And actually ride it up to the top. There's no trap or spikes or anything up there. It's just a very slow ladder up to this spot up here, where there's a chest. And you get the Mira shield. And that's not a fantastic shield. I'm probably not going to showcase it or anything, just because I'm going to try and progress with the area. It's not a great shield, but if you get Lucatiel's armor, which you will at the end of her questline, she'll give you her armor and her sword. It's the shield that goes along with that. So it's a complete set, basically. Try and not die right here. Another drop. Lingering Dragon Crest Ring +1. Wow. that's a pretty rare drop. I can't say extremely rare, but you can only get this ring from these people. From these desert sorceresses. And it extends the length of spell effects, so if you're using weapon buffs, that's a really sweet ring for you to get. Basically, I think it extends it like another 30 seconds or something like that. So if you're using like magic weapon on your sword or mace or whatever, if you're kind of a sorcerer build, that's a really, really handy ring to have. And there isn't a better version of it until I think a later game cycle, like New Game Plus 2. It's kind of stupid that they did that, but that's just what they did, so we got really lucky there.
Feeling about it. I don't quite have the guts myself.
Here's Pate again.
We meet. There's treasure that I don't quite have the guts.
He tells you there's treasure, and he says it's dangerous to go get, but you could go get it if you want to, and we want to, because that's just who we are. So, go ahead and drop down. Over here. And we'll get Great Heavy Soul Arrow. Again, if you're a sorcerer, nice thing to have. Pretty powerful spell. I think you can buy it too, but here's another copy.
Well, good to see that you survived. Perhaps you're more rugged than I thought. In any case, the treasure is yours, since you went ahead, took the leap. I prefer a more cautious approach. It's hard to know who to even trust these days. For instance, I've heard that a man is out for my life. Now, what misunderstanding could have ever led to that? The poor bloke must have quite an imagination. You be careful too, my friend.
So, I forgot to mention,
Can be a dangerous
in like the first, actually, it'd be Forest of Fallen Giants Part 2, I think. Maybe Part 1. Whenever we fought the last giant, Pate was down there. We could summon him for the fight. I forgot that if you summon him for the fight, and then you talk to him here, he'll give you his entire armor set, and his weapon, and his shield. So, we could kill him and get his stuff now, but that would break his quest line. You'd have to buy it too. Not that that's really a problem, but it's kind of expensive. So, if you summoned him, you should be able to talk to him and get that armor that he's wearing. And you should get his spear and his great shield. I didn't do that. I kind of forgot about that way back then. That you have to summon him for that. And as for the guy he was talking about that wanted to kill him, that video I said that I lost the footage, there was a guy in that jail cell, if you were following along, and you obviously had to have gotten that far. I guess you didn't have to open up that bonfire, but the guy in there, his name's Creighton, and he talks about Pate, and he calls him a bastard, and he says that he's, you know, a thief or something like that. He's out to kill Pate, and that's Pate. So, the dude in the armor with the axe in that one cell, Undead Lockaway, I think was that bonfire, in Huntsman's Copse, and then Pate. They actually have an intertwined questline. And in a later video, I'll go back and I'll talk to him again in this next area. So, I'll point him out that time, for sure. Unless I lose the footage or lose the audio for that too, but hopefully no. So this jump kinda isn't worth it. You get a soul and some Crimson Water, Radiant Life Gem, and the jump back is kinda terrible. You basically have to get on that little piece. You have to run and jump and get on that piece. I guess you could fall down if you have the cat ring. I'm gonna go for it. And I made it just barely. But I made it. I'm glad because I kinda didn't want to die. So, anyway, that's that. That's kind of a side area, kind of hidden. Pate and couple spells, couple extra items. You don't really have to go that way. Really, you can go up this ladder. Actually, and Gilligan was that way too. Unless you got through that door before it closed, you wouldn't be able to talk to him. So, good thing we went that way. You talk to Pate, you talk to Gilligan, you get a couple unique items. We even got that ring. So, yeah, you can skip it, but I wouldn't. Here's another guy wearing the shadow set. Wait for him to hit him a couple times. We're not lucky enough to get something from him. That's okay. We've been lucky enough to get cyan armor, and get, like, the Hade Knight leggings, and get that ring, and get a couple really sweet stuff. That doesn't make any sense. A couple really sweet items. So I'm, you know, just happy that I've gotten what I've gotten. So this game likes its illusion walls. And messages tend to give away whenever there's an illusion wall, so every once in a while, just take a look. But this time there's a bonfire hidden behind this one, and there is one, at least one, later in the game that's also hidden behind an illusion wall. So always be on the lookout. Especially areas that seem like dead ends. That was dumb of me. Poison moss is up here. The good thing is that we're kind of leaving the poison areas. I mean, there's a whole DLC dedicated to poison. So really there's like 4 areas in this game, and then the DLC that's dedicated to poison. So there's no shortage of poison areas to go through. So I guess when I say I'm done, this is kind of, in my opinion, kind of the worst, because you have to get poisoned in a lot of situations. Or you'd have to use a lot of consumables to not get poisoned. In the other areas, you can make it by without getting poisoned. Fairly easy. Message says trap. So, probably a good idea to not really go after that. That's actually a mimic. It's our first mimic if you went this way and kind of followed along the way I did. Mimics move very weird in this game. They crawl like that, but every once in a while there are certain chests that are just trap chests, and it's an enemy called Mimic that tries to eat you when you open it, and it does a ton of damage when it bites you, so that's good to point out there. Each Mimic in the base game drops a piece of the dark armor. And the dark armor is the Dark Wraith armor from Dark Souls 1, and in Dark Souls 3. You had to farm for it, but you could get it in Dark Souls 3 too. So, in order to get that complete set, you have to kill each Mimic. And there are a couple that drop pieces of armor in very weird spots. Makes it very hard to get the piece. Sometimes, if you die, you don't get it at all. So, this Phantom here, he's a computer. He'll basically win the boss fight, provided you distract the boss. He'll do everything else. He's pretty powerful. This boss isn't super hard either. I'm going to go ahead and break these jars. And the rest of the bonfire and everything too, because I don't have enough flasks. This boss isn't super hard. You can probably do it by yourself. But yeah, we cleared out Earthen Peak. So, really, we just got to get past these enemies here. Again, Thief Guy and then Sorceress again. And we got to kill those Grave Wardens. I have no idea why I killed them if we just have to kill them again. But souls are souls. seems like they pause after they do the trap thing, the fireball that just hovers there. Seems like they kind of take a break, so you might be able to just run up and attack them after that. These guys can be annoying. Sometimes they never put their shield down. It's kind of what I'm experiencing now. He's gonna heal himself. This whole area was actually covered in poison. It was a poison pool. So burning the windmill actually makes it so that this isn't going to be poison anymore. Not that it's super important, it just means that you don't have to worry about getting poisoned so much. And that's that. I'm not going to summon the Phantom guy. This boss here uses sorcery. So that spell quartz ring we picked up earlier might be nice to use here, actually. Usually I wear the silver serpent ring, but I'll wear this just in case. I don't typically have problems with her, but all it takes is just, you know, one bad roll or something, and she could probably kill me. So I'll go ahead and wear it. So, basically you're fighting, Medusa. Except you don't turn to stone, but snake woman who's I think her lore is that she was something, I think it was very similar to Medusa, actually. She was very beautiful, and I guess I don't know if anybody was envious or whatever of her beauty and they cursed her, but I guess she was super beautiful and very proud of that or something, and then she got cursed or poisoned so that she became, you know, an ugly monster, and her whole domain here is actually poisoned, and it was once a beautiful spa and all this other stuff. Actually, I think I'm not gonna wear that. She's not too tough. But yeah, that's kind of her story. Covetous Demon kind of is tied with her a little bit. She's not too tough, you just gotta watch out for some attacks like that. I'm very ballsy and going over and hitting her way too many times. She doesn't do a ton of damage, but she'll throw her head like that, and it does a magic explosion and hit her now while she's trying to grab it. It's a good time to hit her. Her spear attacks, pretty much just gotta roll straight, kind of diagonal like that. Hit her a couple times, back off. Again, not too difficult. Even her grab attack doesn't do that much damage. So, shouldn't have a ton of problems with her. And if you have Jester Thomas with you, he can do a lot of damage to her. So, that's that. Not a whole lot to her. So really, we haven't had a lot of tough bosses. And actually, in this game in particular, I wouldn't say that there are bosses that are really that many bosses that are super tough. Yeah, no illusion walls. Don't believe them. See, nothing. I wouldn't say in this game there are a ton of bosses that are extremely difficult. DLCs excluded. DLCs added a lot more difficult bosses. So when we get to that point, and I'm doing all these boss fights, and I'm probably going to be doing them solo, there's a good chance I'll be dying a lot. I might actually have to edit my videos so that I can go ahead and cut all my failed attempts out. these messages. Lava up. Iron Keep. Yeah, very, very popular area. A lot of PvP in Dark Souls 2 takes place right on this bridge. So, nice nearby bonfire. Not a lot of enemies. You can pretty much invade here at all times. So, it's a very popular area. And being that actually a boss here is optional, entirely optional, you can not kill him and be able to summon phantoms for here too. So a lot of people do a lot of dueling fight clubs on here. Host will summon you and a million other red phantoms to fight each other. He gets some souls, you guys have the fun of battling each other and some souls, and then basically keep going until you guys die, or until the host decides he's done. There are 2 invaders that show up here. I should be triggering one. Maybe not. Oh wait, here we go. This invader is probably the least impossible of the 2. They're not really impossible. They're just kind of difficult. I don't know. This one I don't fight very often, so I might actually end up dying. She's not too difficult, but I'm not sure if I can parry her. She's got actually one of her weapons. Oh wow, see? She's power stancing those swords, so she can do some kind of quicker attacks. Her weapon in her left hand is the puzzling stone sword, and you get that from the first DLC. We haven't gotten into DLC areas, or I haven't even been able to show DLC areas, because we haven't been anywhere where you could access the DLC. Really not to that point yet. I probably won't show DLC areas, or if I do, it'll be just the very beginning, where we can get a bonfire and then not have to run back through some of these areas. Maybe in the next video I'll grab the item for the Iron King DLC. Because the way you enter the Iron King DLC is through here. So maybe I'll go ahead and do that in the next video. See if we can take her out. You don't really have to deal with them right now. I'm going to, because you kind of have to at some point. They're just going to keep invading you until you do. The other one is Armorer Dennis, which we fought in Forest Fallen Giants in that optional area. So he's not... I mean, he uses spells that are pretty strong, and they can catch you off guard a lot. He can do a lot of damage in a short period of time. But he's not super difficult if you can dodge those. So I'm going to try and trigger him a little bit. See if I can kill him too. And that'll just take care of the phantoms here. That way next time I come here I'll just have to deal with this guy and the 2 phantoms. Actually, never mind. I won't have to deal with the 2 phantoms. I just said I won't have to. I can't talk. But yeah, I'm going to try and deal with these phantoms. I dealt with Fencer Sharon. So here's Armorer Dennis. Then I won't have to deal with them next time. You could also, you know, summon a friend or a random stranger guy to come help you. There were a couple signs back there at the bonfire. You could summon them, but they're probably going to want to do a boss fight. So if you do summon them, don't just like, thanks for the invader help, now go away. Send him back home. There's kind of a unspoken etiquette in this game, in actually the entire Souls series. Not that you can't summon people for stuff like this and then send them home, but they don't really get any rewards for doing it. So here they are, spending their time trying to help you out with these, you know, tough enemies or whatever. And, you know, you're just basically taking advantage of that. I'm gonna get hurt. I should heal. Why am I not healing? Oh, wow. And that's why I should have healed earlier. He had one hit, too. Anyway, unspoken etiquette. So yeah, when you summon somebody, you know, they're kind of putting their sign down to help you out with the boss. Yeah, they want to help you, but they also, probably the main driving reason, if you don't believe that everybody's super selfless, is that they get an item for helping you. They get souls, they get a covenant item, they get something for helping you, and they're probably trying to get that item. So when you summon them, you should probably go ahead and do a fight, or, you know, make it worth their while. You know, that's just kind of one thing. It's not a big thing. If you're summoning them, you're probably wanting to do a boss fight or something anyway. There are kind of unspoken PvP etiquette rules too. Like, for example, if you summon somebody in as a red invader, like they put down a red sign, which we haven't seen yet, but, if somebody puts down a red sign and you voluntarily summon them in, don't try to gank them. Don't summon a whole bunch of people and try and 3v1 that guy. You voluntarily summoned that dude into your world, and he's just trying to have a little fun. You totally can. It's Dark Souls. That's what the game's about. But it's kind of a community thing, like, hey, yeah, you can, but it's kind of a dick move. So that's kind of a rule. Also, if somebody does a dual bow or any bow towards you before a fight, here's a red sign actually. If somebody does a bow to you before a fight, that just means no healing. Spells are okay. If you have time to cast a spell, and they're obviously not pressuring you enough for something, but no flasks, no healing items, nothing like that. Just kinda unspoken rules. Again, you totally can. That's what the game's about, but, yeah, it's just little stuff like that. Whereas, like, invasions are a totally separate thing. If they invade your world, you didn't ask for them to do that, you're trying to do a boss fight, you have people with you, go ahead, gank them, wreck them, destroy them. They came into your world without you wanting them to. So, after that little tangent there, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy pretty much, his armor. Or I guess the black leather armor. And here's the ladder miniature. I didn't have the souls to buy it last time. I'll buy it now. 8,000 souls is a lot, but I'll buy it now. And you can talk to him about going down here.
Fine, fine. You need a ladder then, but you'll have to.
So you got three options: 500, 3,500, and 12,000. The 12,000 one is the longest ladder, the 500 is the shortest one, obviously the 3,500 is in between. Basically only buy the 3,500 and 12,000 one if you really want to get anywhere. You can buy the 500 one, but it really won't take you far. So I'm going to spend a lot of my souls here just getting more throwing knives, more witching urns, more life gems. So I have stuff to use later. And, let's see. I haven't picked up any other items, I think. Probably can't level up. Oh, I can level up once. Level up strength. Sure. I don't think I've picked up any sublime bone dust or anything. I guess I can talk to the blacksmith.
I knew you'd be around soon. How goes your journey? Take these.
So he'll give you a blacksmith hammer
You're
for
worse
something.
than my wreck. Don't spend
Can't
your
remember.
whole life.
Maybe by spending enough money with him, or just upgrading your stuff.
My witless daughter finally came
But here's the line
just
about his daughter.
as she's always been. Well, at least now
I mentioned that
keep
in
an
the
eye on
last
her.
video, that she's the blacksmith's daughter.
You might be surprised.
And just kind of proof, he says, "Stones, ask my daughter," and she's the stone trader. If you talk to her, she'll say that the blacksmith in there looks like her dad, but can't be her dad because her dad, you know, isn't here right now. He's at home or whatever. But this blacksmith keeps eyeing her or whatever. So yes, he's her dad. And so we kind of have a good little community of people showing up. So in the last video, I mentioned that Lucatiel was back here and that I would come back here and grab her after I got rid of the poison, because there was really no reason to go get myself poisoned. I guess she gives you a ring that's kind of useful. I don't really use it very often, but probably should have showed it off way back then. It doesn't really matter. Still using the small shield. Should probably switch that out. And he's not dead. Alright. Okay, there we go. Heal, I guess. I think I was thinking I was going to switch out shields, and then I didn't. Run and jump here, get that. Go ahead and run and jump here again. You don't really have to do that jump, you can go down the other way. But this way I'm not going to get poisoned. And before, this was all covered in poison. We saw it in the last video. So we come over this way now, not get poisoned. And there's Lucatiel.
Still on the road, are you? Sorry to have burdened you so. This is for you. By way of an apology.
So she gives you that ring if you summon her twice, I believe. And since she's got 4 locations you could summon her from, and I believe 3 areas you can actually talk to her, then you won't necessarily get it here. The way we went and the way we summoned, she did give us the ring here.
He was gone. Now I'm certain. If only someone... My brother must have come. Soon I may forget.
She's talking about her brother, and she's talking about how she's losing some of her memories. She says that her brother is, you know, the best swordsman that she ever met. She never even beat him once. That he must have come here. She doesn't want to forget about him. Poison bite ring, so I guess, you know, for the poison areas, that's kind of nice. I never really wear it, but increases your poison resistance. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get poisoned. I'll just heal myself if I have to. Everything's dead anyway, so I won't have to worry about it. Yeah, so in this case, we've summoned her twice, and we've talked to her in every area that we've been to so far. So she's given us that ring. You won't necessarily do it if you missed a spot or if you've gone different ways or whatever. So it's not guaranteed. But yeah, so that's kind of that. That pretty much wraps up the whole Earthen Peak Harvest Valley area. I guess last thing, I just kind of thought about it. Haven't really gone back over here. So a long time ago we came in here and we went down and got an Estus Flask shard and whatever. We got the mansion key from this dude in the forest.
Hello again. You've made it.
And
I
he's
presume.
talking about this map. He, you know, this is Kale the cartographer.
Yes.
So
I was born
yes,
in the
maps.
land of Mytha. Mytha is also the home of an infamous killer, a knight in name alone. He was locked in the dungeon for multiple murders.
For whatever reason, everyone is from Mytha.
Before his execution, he managed to
Lucatiel's from Mytha, her brother's from Mytha, this guy's from Mytha, and he's talking about this guy who's from Mytha.
It's true. I believe his name was Cray something. They shared some resemblance.
So, Creighton of Mytha, which we've already met and we freed,
I don't know what causes it.
is also from Mytha. So there's at least 4 people from Mytha.
I don't know what it... But there is something greatly comforting about that.
He's talking about the flames on the map. They actually show up if you defeat certain bosses. Some of these light up, and they change colors if you're in later game cycles.
It was blocked by a wall. Something built
Now he's talking about the basement that we've already been in.
crumbling, and I finished the job. Now a foul sound echoes within. Did you see the flame? It wasn't.
Yes, we saw the flames on the map. So we'll pretty much never talk to him again until like the end of the game. And the sound he was talking about, there was a skeleton down here. There's nothing else down here. So yeah, it's kind of that. So I think that's actually going to be the end of this video. I've spent the last 15 minutes or whatever just kind of doing random stuff. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. The next video will be Iron Keep. We'll do the whole area and do the 2 bosses of that area and probably the side area a little bit. So we're going to clear out Iron Keep and I'll probably show the DLC. Or at least the second DLC, kind of the beginning area. But that's for next time. So I will catch you guys in the next Dark Souls 2 video.